ever promised yourself, okay, that's it, I'm gonna eat healthier, maybe cut out the chips or those sugary energy drinks, only to find yourself reaching for them like 2 hours later? Honestly, if you're a teenager trying to get healthier and maybe lose some weight, you have probably asked yourself this exact question. Why does giving up junk food feel literally impossible?
Well, listen, one of the most validating things I discovered in the research is that overeating is absolutely not a personal failure. It's not because you're lazy, and it is definitely not a lack of willpower. The science actually shows us your brain is having a completely normal biological response to a totally abnormal modern food environment. So seriously, take a breath. It is not your willpower, it's your brain's wiring.
But here is the incredible news. You can rewire it. And how long does that take? 66. Research shows it takes an average of exactly 66 days to structurally rewire your brain to form a new automated habit. That's it. Just about 2 months to completely change how your brain responds to food.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into the fascinating science of hacking your brain and how neuroplasticity can stop overeating. We're going to uncover a totally science-based blueprint to achieve lasting weight loss by essentially upgrading your brain's hardware.
Section 1. The brain's junk food trap. Let's understand the bug in our system. So to understand why we overeat, we really have to look at the two types of hunger. First, you've got homeostatic hunger. This is just your brain telling you to eat for actual physical fuel, to keep your energy balanced. But then there's hedonic hunger. This is eating purely for pleasure, specifically for a hit of that feel-good chemical dopamine. In our modern world, it's literally designed to trigger this hedonic hunger nonstop.
When you map out the actual dopamine trap, it is wild. When you eat ultra-processed, hyper-palatable foods, think cookies, chips, fast food, they hijack a part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens. They flood your brain with so much dopamine that your brain actually turns down or reduces its dopamine receptors just to defend itself. The result? You end up needing way more junk food just to feel the same level of normal pleasure. It's a vicious cycle.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Willpower is a finite and exhaustible resource. It runs out. If your dopamine receptors are totally depleted and your brain is screaming at you for relief, trying to fight that with pure willpower is a losing battle. You are fighting millions of years of human evolution. We don't need more willpower, guys. We need a new strategy. Which brings us to Section 2. What is neuroplasticity? This is your brain's absolute superpower.
Neuroplasticity is simply your brain's ability to change its physical structure and function based on what you do. Think of the neural pathways in your brain like sled tracks in deep snow. If you take the exact same path every single day, like grabbing a soda the second you feel stressed, that track gets deep, fast, and super automatic. But neuroplasticity means you can always choose to carve a completely new track. If you stop using the old one, it just fills with snow and disappears.
Let's look at the actual timeline for carving that new track. On day 1, yeah, it takes conscious effort. It's hard. But by day 18, you start seeing the earliest signs of a habit forming. Then by day 66, on average, the behavior hits what's called an automaticity plateau. This is magical. Control literally shifts from your prefrontal cortex, which requires heavy mental effort, over to your basal ganglia, which just runs things on autopilot.
All right, Section 3, pause, replace, and redirect. Here is how you intercept those cravings.
This is a brilliant 4-step method to stop a craving in its tracks. Step 1. Self-awareness. Catch yourself and notice the trigger. Are you actually hungry or are you just stressed, bored? Step 2. Pause. Just wait a beat. You don't actually have to act immediately on the craving. Step 3. Replace. Substitute that automated bad habit with a healthier alternative just to kickstart a new neural pathway. Step 4. Redirect. Focus your attention back on your long-term goals. Do this enough times and I promise, the new track becomes way deeper than the old one.
Section 4, Mindful Eating and MBEAT. Let's talk about how to actually eat differently. So MBEAT, it stands for Mindfulness-Based Eating Awareness Training. Now don't let the name fool you. This is not some strict, miserable diet. It's really about combining your inner wisdom, like genuinely listening to your body's physical hunger and fullness signals, with your outer wisdom, which is just your basic knowledge of healthy nutrition. It's about being present with your food, completely non-judgmental.
The rules here are crazy simple, but they will profoundly alter your brain chemistry. Slow down. Actually savor the flavor of your food. Notice the physical feeling of fullness in your stomach. When you eat mindfully like this, you actively reduce your brain's attentional bias toward junk food cues. You start decoupling your negative emotions from the calories you're taking in. The best part? You actually enjoy your food way more, but you naturally end up eating less.
Moving on to Section 5, Exercise Hacks Your Brain. It's time to remodel.
We usually just think of aerobic exercise, running, biking, swimming, as a way to burn off calories, right? But from a neuroscience perspective, the research shows aerobic exercise literally, physically remodels your brain's reward system. It's an incredible, direct antidote to the damage caused by ultra-processed foods.
Let's break down exactly what working out does to your brain. First, it elevates something called BDNF. Think of BDNF as Miracle-Gro for your neurons. It heavily speeds up neuroplasticity. Second, it naturally increases dopamine in that nucleus accumbens we talked about, which kills your cravings for junk food. Third, it restores your brain's insulin sensitivity. And finally, it burns off the baseline stress that usually triggers your emotional eating. Exercise is quite literally brain medicine.
Finally, Section 6, Master your food environment. We have to protect your newly rewiring brain.
There is a vital concept from the literature called decision fatigue. Imagine you have a bag of cookies sitting right there on your desk. Your brain has to make the active, conscious decision not to eat them hundreds of times a day. Every single time you resist, it drains your mental battery. And eventually, your brain gets exhausted, gives up, and chooses the path of least resistance. You eat the cookie.
So the ultimate hack is to engineer your environment so you don't even have to use willpower at all. Seriously, pre-plan your choices to skip the mental battle entirely. This starts with smart shopping strategies. If you don't put the junk food in your grocery cart, it doesn't end up in your house, period. And if a treat is in the house, use strict portion control. Put a small amount in a bowl, put the rest away, and never eat mindlessly straight out of the bag. You want to make the healthy choice the easiest default choice.
I really want to read you this direct quote from the research literature because it hits the nail right on the head. Relying solely on willpower, which is a finite resource, can work against weight loss in an obesogenic environment. Stop blaming yourself for failing a test that was quite literally designed to make you fail. Change the environment, and you change the test.
Let's quickly recap your brand new brain hacking toolkit. To rewire your habits over the next 66 days, here is what we're going to do. Use the pause, replace, and redirect method the second a craving hits. Practice those mindful MBE techniques so you actually savor your food and respect your fullness. Do some aerobic exercise to boost that BDNF and heal your reward system. And engineer your environment with smart shopping and portion control to totally avoid decision fatigue.
Guys, you are not stuck with the brain wiring you have today. You are a biological hacker with the absolute power to write brand new code for your own mind and body. So my question to you as we wrap up this explainer is this. What is the very first neural pathway you are going to rewire today? Start small, start right now. You've got this. I'll see you next time.
Until then, take care.